Hey Roxy, thank you for joining me again. So anyone that's watching, Roxy has been on my channel before. She kindly shared quite a deep story with us about something that happened to her before she went to prison. So if you haven't already seen that video, then do check it out. So today, obviously, we're going to talk about you. Am I right in being saying that you got made to live on a protected wing? Because that's what J Wing was, wasn't it? It wasn't a privileged wing. It was a protected wing more than anything.
So basically, when I went in, they said to get my open, I had to do TC.
Yeah, so just
Yeah.
quickly before we go into that one, that is what we would class in Send as a protected wing. It's not, nobody normal would choose to ever live on there unless they were vulnerable and they were scared or threatened by other people in the prison. And we would find that most paedophiles and like the most people that done the most horrific crimes, they would always go down there. So to live, do you agree with that?
Yeah, that's what it's kind of like.
Yeah, obviously, unless somebody is in your situation that you've been put in, which is you're going to share the story in a minute. I just wanted to clarify that up. That is what we used to all call it, was a protected wing. Because obviously, you've obviously heard the Lucy Letby story now. To be
Yeah.
honest, it's getting a little bit sort of thin now. I'm just touching base with a lot of prisoners and asking their, well, ex-prisoners, their opinion on what it was like to live there. But you more so is different because when we, like, for example, with me living on the privilege wing with them, I wasn't forced to interact with them. I wasn't forced to speak to anybody. That was a choice. But whereas your story is a little bit different. So if you wouldn't mind sharing how it came about that you had to live on there and why you were forced to interact with these women.
So basically, when I landed in Send, it was put out that by my I don't know what you call it. But
OMU.
yeah, you owe me that for me to get my open, I have to do TC. So um, I got transferred down there within, I think, a month. I got thrown into the community, and I started my journey really on there.
So just quickly, what does TC stand for?
So basically, it's DTC, so it's a Democratic Therapeutic Community. It's the only one in the whole of Europe that is, well, the world basically, that has a women's female therapy community within a prison system. So I was put in there. I think there was only a couple of us that were actually the youngest, and there was only a very few of us that actually was not convicted murderers. I think there was only 3 or 4 of us that were only in there for firearms or GBH or ABH. The rest of the group, people were convicted murderers or child killers. Yeah, I think that's the only ones we had really that were kind of in there.
What about
Um,
paedophiles? Hey Kay.
no, I think we only had child molesters.
Yeah, paedophile, same thing.
No,
Were they?
we
Yeah.
only had 2 that were part of killing their children. That was it.
Right.
Oh, and one girl was known for fiddling with old people.
Okay. That's the
That was
first I've heard of that. Just bear with me. I'm just going to turn my volume up because you sound really quiet and I want to see if it's me. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
So from what I got, you go on and you're honest about your offence straight away. But what I found out is they don't have to force you to announce your crime at the beginning. They kind of make you slowly get to the point that you're okay with it. So when I went there, I was a bit shocked coming from the world I'm from. I didn't expect someone to be so open about, murdering their child. But it was like very open, like I'm here for killing, da 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 da. Da. And it was like, I'm grateful really, because in my group, I wasn't with none of them.
Right.
But I know other groups did have one in each. But my small group never actually had one in, so I never actually had to hear the story of it, because it's your whole oasis that's within that. So literally step by step, they get told your index offence, and you've got to read that to the group. So that's, yes, I never had to listen to it. But I mean, upstairs there isn't really many of them. It's mainly when you go downstairs onto J1, that's when all the child killers, the people that, played with children, or people that kill their kids. So J2 is a lot more closed than J1. Not that there wasn't paedophiles on J2, there was, but not as much.
Yeah. Just a quick question. So Kay's just asking if you just come out. No, Kay, she got out before I did and before you did. We're just doing a little touch up on what it's like to actually live around and have to interact with wrong-uns.
I think the one thing that kind of shocked me is the brazen of them. Like when you watch it on TV, it's like or like when you hear from the men's side, it's like they're kind of away. But they're not. Like the way they walk around a wing, it's very brazen. Like they're very, like it's okay. And I think that was hard, especially when you're hearing like, people just like, yeah, I killed my kid and I got 4 years. Like, sorry, I've got longer than you and I didn't even like cause no harm to a child. I just think that's crazy.
So how did you find it having to actually like kind of interact with these women? So I guess you didn't have to interact too much with them if you did separate group therapy. So did you all come together like sessions, but did you all come together as one group at times like that and stuff?
Yeah, but I mean, they never really would talk much. I mean, there was a very big discussion about allowing Catherine Cox to come on the group, and everyone's point of view on it. And my point of view was, how are you telling us that, for people that have gone through certain things, victims of certain crimes, to be okay with these people? And it was, although like it was kind of put out there that there's no difference between your crime and their crime. Well, there's a big difference. I didn't harm no infant. Like, I think that was, just the way that I was just shocked by all of it, really. Like, how they were just allowed to mix in, how it was, although like you had to try and understand their sad story. But my point is, I couldn't care about your sad story. You should be hung. So I don't really care, like, how you can sit there and say, well, I didn't kill my kid. Well, how did your kid get all them bruises and get drugs put in his system? He wasn't that man's kid, he was your kid.
Yeah, I mean, because there's so much mixed feedback on the situation that's going on, especially where I've touched base with it on my channel. People are saying a crime's a crime. How can we not expect to go to prison and live amongst these people? So for me, and I've said it before on one of my videos that I've uploaded, I think what it is for me is I didn't hear about these things. Like, I didn't, like, you expect to go into prison with murderers and stuff like that, but the amount of paedophiles and children killers shocked me. It really, really shocked me. I never realised there was so many females that did these sort of crimes. So it kind of takes you back, and then, you think, we're all saying, I don't think they should be living again. Like, I see, my theory is, I don't think they should be entitled to be put on a privilege wing like ENF or like House Block 4, when they literally can just walk in the prison, and because they've committed this horrific crime, they just get put on there. Whereas it can take us like 3-4 months to earn that privilege to be on that wing. That's my massive thing. I think they should be put up on main block, with the other girls, and deal with the consequences like we have to. We have to deal with the consequences of our crime, but they get a special treatment. I think this is where it's all getting mixed up. I had a comment in regards to, someone said something along the lines of, well, we have to live outside with people like you. Like, I destroy people's life. Which, you know what, this person, listen, I'm openly can accept criticism or people's opinions. I'm very respectful of that. I don't have to agree with it. But actually, if you've been a victim of somebody dying of their child, say dying of drugs, then you've got that theory. So why have they got to live outside in the population with someone like us? But then you're not confined into a very, very small space with me. It's we can argue this one day out, but my point is, so what I'm trying to clear up is, I'm not saying, because I don't think they should have their own jail. I don't think they should have their own little wing, because I think they should get it. They'll get it cushy. All the paedophiles living together and never getting no stick.
I
I
think
just
when someone
think,
says like, well, I've got to be in the public with you,
yeah. So
well, would you allow a nonce to look after your kids, or would you rather someone that, because anyone can become a criminal, and that's what people don't forget.
yeah,
Like,
because
you
that's what
can't.
someone said. Because sorry, I'm cutting you off. Someone said to me basically, like, they tried to make out like my crime was the same as theirs, like breaking the laws, breaking the law. So that's like saying, well, I guarantee if you've got a driving license, you've broke the speeding limit, so you've broke the law. So that makes you on the same level as me, because the law's the law. So
So that person's gonna
that's
have
what
to
they're
drink
saying,
and
but
go
people
home.
aren't
Like, yeah,
educated enough to think about what they're saying. And am I educated enough in everything I say? No, I'm not. But you got to realize, if you're gonna throw stuff out, it's gotta make sense. See, with this woman saying about they don't choose to live in a world with us, I can respect that. I can respect that opinion. I can't respect an opinion of you saying that I am the same as somebody else because I've broke the law. Because I
I
can
remember
guarantee at
seeing.
some point in
Yeah.
your life you've broke the law. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's breaking the speed limit, a law's a law. That's what you're telling me. So,
Or you tell me you've
there's
never
things.
thrown litter on the floor because you can get done for that. Never thrown a cigarette butt, like.
So
But I
yeah,
think,
so
I
my so
saw on
my feelings on it is,
Tamara Tamara Eckerson put up on Instagram, funny enough, saying like this person deserved life, and someone put, you don't know her backstory.
yeah, it's very bizarre. What
And I was
people,
like, hold on, you're putting your kids in a NICU, in a hospital. You don't expect someone to go killing your children.
that's where
Like,
they're supposed to be protected and looked after
yeah.
and
But then
loved.
again, like, there was people that lived downstairs from me that were taking pictures of children in the nursery, or, killed their kids. So you're telling me you'd want to understand someone's history that killed their kid because you don't know their past? Like, I'm being funny. Anyone can say, well, I have to live in the public with criminals. Okay, you might have to live in the public with me, but at least you know your child will be safer with me. Would you let a nonce look after
Do
your
you know
kid?
what I mean?
And I always ask the officers this: would you trust a nonce to look after your kid? No. So do not look at me the same. Because I'm not being funny. I really don't care about half these women's stories about, oh, you don't know my past. Well, you killed your kid. You're sick. What about I kill you and I can get away with it and get given 4 years?
I know, it's, yeah, some of that
But to
stuff's,
be fair, the law is changing. It has just been announced that people that commit sexual murders will now, or severe sexual crimes will now be given a life sentence. So we're
it
changing.
shouldn't be severe. It should be sexual crimes against a child. End of. Severe or not. It's, the thing is people don't realise as well, like, well, there's not even people, because I think any normal person would realise that you've done something to a child, and if they are lucky enough to survive that, that's their life ruined for life. Like, not many people come back from that. That then leads to drugs, whatever, just trauma their whole life. So you can go and do something like that, serve 4 years, get less than what someone else has got for selling drugs, and then that person's life is absolutely ruined for life. Like,
But what I don't honestly understand is in the jail law, in the law in the UK, if a child's under one, it's not counted as a life. So if a child's under 1 years old and you kill that child, it's not counted as murder.
that do you know what I'm laughing? I'm not laughing at what you've just said. It just reminded me of another comment that somebody said, that basically if a it's women having abortions are exactly the same as somebody killing a child,
No,
and
because
they should be done exactly the same. No, 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 but I'm talking like an abortion. I can't. I don't know. I'm not even going to comment on it because I just don't. My opinions is just irrelevant. I think I'm actually literally getting out of the conversation of where we was going anyway with you, and talking about your journey of living on, because otherwise I think we'll end up being here for hours. And
discussing the law.
it is a lot. It's a lot, I mean, it's I've had so much like positive from what I've done on the video, so I thought I would just put one
I
more
think
out
when
there.
people are talking about, um, the way of life, I think they walk around like their shit don't stink. They get privileged jobs, they get put in privileged situations. Half these don't even get half the same sentence as someone robbing from a shop. They get very little. And it's like, oh, well, we got to protect, you don't protect them. They get to go after free fly.
Mm.
God knows what will happen to you if you attack one. Do you know what I mean? You can't even call them a nonce or call them a paedophile. You can't call them nothing, but it's all right for you to turn around and say, well, you committed ABH though. But I can't turn around and say, well, you're a fucking dirty little nonce. Because you are a paedophile, you are a child molester, so why can't I state that's what you are? But you're not allowed to say that to them.
Yeah, paedophile is the correct word, and that is what they are. That's the word created for them.
I'll never forget the day that one, I forget her name now, but we spoke about her before. And she turned around and went, well, at least I'm not in here for murder. I was like, but you're in here for sexual assault on a child.
Be careful when using the N word. Can we just stick with paedophile, please?
Oh, you're actually not allowed to use it?
It, no, not on here. You're not, and I don't know how. So just no, not on here, because I don't.
Yes, I just feel like, they have this almighty that they're better than us, even though you done essay on a child or you done something to a child. It's like, well, at least I didn't kill no one. Okay. But you harmed
Yeah,
a child.
yeah. It's very bizarre how their brain cells work, and how they justify stuff in their head. So going back to like living on that wing. So how long did you live on there for?
Nearly the whole time I was in jail.
How long? Remind me. Sorry, I can't remember how long you
Probably
said.
over. I moved on there in March 2017, and I came off there when I came to F Wing. When was that? 2019 August.
So you've
Yeah,
done a couple of years on there.
yeah, I've done a good 28 months,
So
29 months in them.
obviously, like I said earlier, that's in Sen. That's the wing where they all go to. They all live. Nobody would ever in their right mind choose to live on there. Like I said, unless they were very, very vulnerable prisoners, which I can understand. If I'm being in reality and I was a very weak person and I was scared, I was like getting myself into trouble up there, people wanted to beat me up, I can understand why they run away to that place. Yeah. It's reality, that's the truth. We can understand would I ever do that? Not in a million years. You could beat me up every day. I don't think I would ever want to go down there. Um, but not everybody's the same. And what are the consequences if you didn't live on there?
Of what?
So
My
if you had said, I'm not going to go down and live on this wing where all the paedophiles and children killers live on, what were the consequences for you?
I don't know. I probably would have got my open a lot more quicker. To be fair, I feel like they told me that would be the quickest way to get my open, but it weren't. Everything got
But was
used.
it on your sentence plan? Was that on your sentence plan? Because I need to try and
Yeah.
clear up with people because it's easy to sort of say you would have
What
got
was
your
I in
thing,
prison
but
for? A firearm.
so to clear up with people, so basically an OMU worker is like a probation officer inside the prison, and we have what's called a sentence plan. Now you have to do what is on your sentence plan. You have to do these things, otherwise it you can't get you open, which means that you can go outside and work and stay at home and do all these privileged things.
Well, yeah, but I think, they put me on a course that caused my open to not be given to me for much longer.
But they okay, so they tricked. So you feel you was tricked into going on there, yeah?
I
Because
feel like, no,
would
I
have you
feel like,
would have
I
you
feel like,
chosen to go and live on that wing?
no, not if I knew that was what people were there for, no.
Yeah. So obviously you would have been up main block. So did you go straight onto J wing when you came in to send?
No, I was on main block for like a couple of weeks.
And did you never hear of J wing at that time and what it was, what people living on there was about?
I don't think I've really spoke to anyone, to be fair. I don't think I was in the right headspace.
Okay, fair enough. So
Um,
obviously, so you feel like you were tricked into doing this course and moving down there by your OMU worker. How long did it take you to realise that all these people were what they were?
I think the same day I went down there.
Mm.
But I mean, I feel like my open was held back on the fact of I didn't like nonsense of
Yeah,
paedophiles.
because TikTok will ban me for it.
God's sake. Yeah, I feel like because I didn't like paedophiles and I didn't play the game in the fact of being like, well, they're okay or it's okay. Um, yeah, it was held against me. I think because anyone that knows, my conviction was based around hating them. So
Mm.
I think for the fact that my conviction was based around hating them, it hid my risk for the fact that I was so anti.
So why did you not leave? Why did you not refuse and leave, but to live on there?
I feel like I kind of made friends and then like I had my friends. Do you know what I
What a
mean? Like,
paedophile. I'm joking, I'm joking.
I feel that was the main thing. Like I had my mates on there. Like, so
And was they doing this course as well, or had they chosen to live on there?
no, they were all doing the course. So I feel like, I mean, they weren't around me like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I never went downstairs, so I never was around them. And the ones upstairs wouldn't come out their room.
Hang on, I got a comment there. Kay said, I remember the first time I came to send you advised me not to go J Wing. Yeah, I do. I advise everyone, don't go there. Don't go there. It's
Yeah.
not a good place to live.
No, it's literally prison inside a prison. But I mean, like, where I lived upstairs on my spur, there was no one in for that conviction.
So what were they? So what was that? No paedophiles that lived upstairs, or there was children killers? Just or was it?
There was only
Obviously, you
two.
said so you said there was people on your course. So I think I might have got a little bit mixed up. I thought that you actually was on courses with paedophiles as well. I kind of like
No, only two child killers.
only
Only,
on
yeah.
one landing.
No,
um, hmm?
yeah, two of them, and I think one that was in there for child neglect or something like that. I mean, they weren't on my landing, so they were on the other landing, and they never really came out to mix with us. They kind of go downstairs or stay in their room.
Yeah. So was there any situations that you was ever put in that you had to speak to these guys and literally you had like you felt it was kind of forced to do with being kicked off the course because obviously you guys are quite under strict rules, aren't you, being on there?
Um, I don't think they appreciated my views on Catherine Cox, no. But I mean, not that I gave a damn. So, I mean, I got told off plenty of times for it, but my point is, the duck looks like a duck and sounds like a duck is a duck. So if you killed your child and you look like you killed your child, you're a child killer. And I don't think they liked it much that my mum had a good view on it as well. On Family Day, she let the whole place know. But I think towards the end, I just shut my mouth and got on with it. I wanted off, so I had to play the game.
Did you have any conflict with any of them? Like I mean, obviously you said what you said, but like, did you ever get into like rows with any of them or anything like that?
Yeah, but I mean, it'll soon be shut down. So
And
it's
behaviour.
pointless. I mean, you can't really argue with them.
You can't argue with them, did you say?
I
Because I
don't.
know, from what I've seen, the stories I've heard, um, thank you guys. So I'm just getting nice comments in the box. I don't want to be rude and ignore people. So from what I've seen and what I heard, the attitudes and some of the bounce backs, like they like to argue, like
Hmm.
they actually go on like they're innocent and they're hard as hell, like literally.
I mean, they tell you, well, at least I'm not in here for murder. So what? It weren't me. What's he got to do with you? I mean, they get leery, but who's really got time to actually? By the time you argue back with them, all the officers are in between you. You're getting in more trouble. I mean, they were fun to irritate sometimes. I enjoyed rounding them up, especially banging on the door when she went to sleep. It was so fun.
Thank you guys.
But I mean, would you choose to live there? No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm just asking. Like, did you not ever want to like just be off there at any point? Did it not drive you insane? How do you think, oh, thank you guys. How do you think that literally, it will be for Lucy? So obviously you must know about this crime.
I mean, she's
And
gone up north, isn't she in a northern prison?
yeah, so I have actually got a written statement coming from somebody that actually was in prison with her. So she has actually been on remand for a
Yeah.
while. This
She,
person was in prison last
hmm.
year, but this is all. Sorry, I'm looking. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So yeah, so this is all new to me. I mean, like I said, I see all my news and stuff. I see it through TikTok because I'm a bit of a TikTok fan. I absolutely waste too much time on here. I don't watch the news. I've said it before. So everything I see is new to me. So this whole thing with Lucy, I didn't realize she was on remand. So now the reason that my friend is doing a written statement is because for reasons with her work, she can't do a podcast with me, which I'm gutted about. But she's been in Bronzefield for a while, and people didn't know what she was there for. Some people just speculated that it was something to do with kids, but
Oh,
people
so
were
she was
doing like
actually
podcast.
down south. I thought she was up north.
No, she's been in Bronzefield and then she got sentenced. So I think that's why when she got sentenced, they shipped her straight out of Bronzefield, because they needed to protect her basically because this was a new level. So I think people just speculated what she was in for. Nobody actually knew what the crime was because I don't know if it's been on the news beforehand. I don't know if this is all new and that it's only been plastered all over the news since she's been sentenced, or was it on the news previous? I don't know. Anybody in the view box know?
Yeah. As far from what I thought, it was like she got sentenced, and that's how
Yeah,
it
I
hit the
thought she
news.
got arrested and was on remand for a month or something or two, and maybe I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe the Lucy Letby. I don't know. Was there any news on her before
But
her
the bit
sentence?
that got me is the cheek of her didn't even turn up for sentencing. Like,
So, what's your views? Because I have asked someone else on this. From your experience, how many prisons you been in?
too.
And was that Bronzefield and Send?
Yeah.
But have you got any experiences on people refusing to go to court, like factual that you know of? Oh.
I mean, from what I got, yeah, like I had to turn up to court and face my sentencing. Um, my perpetrator did. She was forced by the judge that she has to attend because her behaviour has been disrespectful, so she was forced to turn up. Um, I think it's disrespectful that you committed a crime like that and you got to hide in your cell instead of facing the people that you took their children away from them. I think if you look at half the people that actually committed normal crimes, we have to stand up and take our sentence. So why just because you're in for what you're in, did you not have to turn up? Because let's be fair, Brownsville could have put her on the bus.
I mean, this conversation's been had already. We don't know the ins and outs. We don't know if they did get her on the bus and she refused to go up from the dock, because the guards at the court, they don't have the authority what the prison officers have, to
Well,
drag you up.
from my personal knowing, Hannah said that she wasn't coming to court, and Bronsford left her in her cell.
Yeah, so I think we can all speculate, but none of us
So
actually know the
because
facts. But
the judge actually wrote a letter to Bronsfield and phoned them, had a go at them about her not turning up to court for 3 days.
you get fined. You get fined. The prison get fined if they don't get you to court.
And the
But
next thing we know, she turns up. So do I think Bronsfield just thought, forget it? What's the point? They could easily put her in a bus, pack all her stuff up and send her up north, hoping that it won't hit the news as fast. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah, literally, like that could have well been that could have been arranged with the court. They could have said, look, for her protection, we're going to ship her out the day of her sentencing. You sent, is she going to be sentenced today? Like I said, we can speculate on this one all day long, and you know, we're never going to know the truth. We weren't there that day, and to be fair, like I think a lot of people that have been in prison get high rate about how, and I think even other people actually that haven't been in prison get high rated about why, how the hell does she get the right not to turn up and face the music face on face and stuff like that, but we don't know the reasons. um
I mean,
what what
do I think her time can be hard? Um, from what I experienced on Jamie, no, I don't. I think she'll probably get beaten up a couple of times and then that'll be the end of it. She'll probably get a very well paid job, probably be in a very nice prison cell. I mean, look at the ones that are in Send. I mean, what, the whole time I was there, Roxanne Davis was the only one that got beaten up. So I don't think her time's gonna be that bad. Not unless,
Because this is the thing, is what people that haven't been to prison is Lucy. No, she's not in Bronzefield now. She was. What people don't realise that haven't been to prison is there's been so many high profile women, and this is my point of talking to women that have been in prison, basically because it gives the viewers and all the good people out there that are not dumb enough to make bad choices an understanding of what's actually going to happen. And don't get me wrong, there is a little part that thinks, damn, I don't want the wrong person to, because people are, there's I can't even begin to imagine what the families are feeling and stuff like that, and if they caught wind of hearing the true facts, and it made them feel a type of way, that wouldn't sit right. But also, my channel is about prison. my channel is about prison, and I'm not going to shy away from staying true to what I'm doing, and telling people what prison is really like. And these people that have never been to prison, they don't realize, I don't think, how many paedophiles there are in women's prison, and how women's prisons are just not like men's. Like, they wouldn't last a week in a man's prison. They would not last in a week. And I think that's the reason they have their own section in men's prison, because they can't deal with the paperwork, the extra charges, and all these, like, these people
I
will
mean, let's
mess
be
these
fair.
people up.
Let's be fair. She's probably gonna get beaten up maybe once or twice if anyone's lucky to get near her. She's probably gonna be transferred with an officer to everywhere she goes.
Yeah, she will be. That's what I was saying before. She will get
Yeah, because she's high profile. She'll get
yeah,
transferred
they
here,
have to. You
there,
know
and
what bronze
everywhere.
feels like? They have to be, because she'll always be in a high
Is
secure
she
prison.
Newell? Is she
Yeah,
Newell?
that's the rumours, that she's in Newhall at the minute. Yeah, that's what the rumour is.
I mean, let's be fair. She's probably going to be moved around with an officer. I mean, I doubt she's going to be going to any education or anything like that for a long time. And when she does, I mean, she might get beaten up once or twice, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't think some comment says live with filter to protect community experience. Yeah, I don't think she's gonna have a tough time as what everybody thinks, and I do
No,
think that the thing is this is bigger than your normal big. So when you have certain people that have been on the news for killing their children, and etc., because there's quite a lot of women in there that have been on there for some madness of killing their children, but this is the worst that there's been in a long time. I can be very careful I word this without saying like it's the worst. Like, killing one child or killing 10 makes no difference in my eyes.
I think
But
it's the
you've
fact
just
that
gone
she,
extreme
I think the fact that
to
she was a nurse and she was meant to be protecting ill kids and abuse that.
you're supposed to feel safe. You're supposed to feel safe leaving your child in a hospital. Like, that's just, so this is like blowing at to a whole nother level. So I think there's going to be girls in prison that are going to want to prove something. Not as in like prove something, but like, I feel like it's because it's so huge, it's gonna hit different, because you've got mothers in there. But then you think that then people aren't just thinking, oh my god, you killed a kid, you're a wrong un. They're thinking, what if my baby needs to go to hospital? Like, my kid could have been in that hospital. It takes it to a different level of thinking, and I
I
feel
think that, and I think, the amount of women and mothers that I know that was moved around with women that touched up kids or took photos of children in the nursery, they still didn't do shit to them. So I just think, you know, that I don't know. I just think the amount of women that I saw that was in there for things with children or killed their kids and nothing happened to them, or they were literally their food went destroyed or anything. So do I think do I think she'll probably get tumped up a couple of times? Yeah. Do I think it's gonna be a constant reoccurrence? No. I think people would probably just think, fuck it, what's the point?
well, it's just an extra sentence, isn't it? If you're trying to be good and get your head down and get and work outside, it's an extra outside charge. So if you're serving 4 years and you do something, that's another 4 years, maybe longer. If you're already in for violence, that's another extra stretch. But that's why I like the little one up in Send. I don't say her name on it because I don't know if she wants me to say it, but she was a mum. She didn't care. She did what she needed to do.
The
She's,
one the one that done Roxanne.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, rate her.
Yeah,
That
she
was
would.
so funny.
She didn't care. She just doesn't. She just doesn't care. Like,
I rate her. I loved her and I
yeah,
rate
and she's a
her.
mum, and she didn't care about any consequences. She didn't care, like, if you done something
My
wrong,
heart went
then
out to her when the officers broke her leg. Like, it was awful the way she was treated afterwards, but I rate her 100% respect. She told me she was going to do it and she did. Respect.
yeah, she didn't mess around, and
I mean, I think a lot of mothers just want to get home to their children, and I understand that, but I also don't think because you don't have to beat them up that we really have to be nice to them. No,
thank you for the hair.
I don't think it's right to be
Thanks,
nice.
Lily.
But, she's got a life sentence. I mean, I'm waiting to hear the news article about her committing self harm. That'll be the next one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, a
because
lot
she
of
won't
people are
kill
saying they
herself.
think she'll take her life, and I want to ask the question, "What do you think?" But I think that's a dumb question because nobody knows her. Nobody knows her, so no one can speculate. No one can say that. Like,
I don't
really, in
think she'll take her own
reality,
life. You know why I don't think she'll take her own life? Because I think she thinks she's better. I
well,
think
that's the
that she
problem. We
will.
find that people that commit that crime do. They think they are better than everybody else. They just their attitude. I've said it from the get go. Like their attitude, it shocks me. It
Mm,
really shocks me.
the brazen. That's what
Yeah.
got me. The brazen of them. The brazen. It was although like, you know, I'm better than you, or I'm superior. I don't know where they thought they were going in life. But to even be told, like, well, I was in an abusive relationship. That's why my child died. No, your baby had drugs in it that you fed it. You're there to protect your child, and the amount of them that don't protect their child.
Yeah, see, that baffles me because I understand people get stuck in a abusive relationship, but you should love, if you can't love yourself, you should love your kid enough to get out. Like,
I
because
think
you
to
can't,
allow someone to torture your child.
yeah, yeah, that I can't get my brain around, but I wouldn't even want to try and work these people out anyway because they're just not wired right.
I just think, do I think they should not be allowed to be protected? Yeah, I do. I do think they should be mixed in with everyone else. I do think they should do all of that. But on the other side, you've got to think of how many of us really want to be mixed in with them. It's
No,
a
yeah, and see, my thing is I'm on the fence. Like I do, I would prefer it being a prisoner that they didn't live anywhere near me. I prefer they own had their own little thing. I just think they should not have an opportunity to live down on privileged wings. I think they should be stuck up on main block, and I don't. And it will be a whole different ball game if they was living
well,
on
you
main
got to
block.
think J Ring is now a normal wing. It's not. It's all changed now.
Yeah, but
Um,
J Wing wasn't like J Wing was just called J Wing. It wasn't like the protected wing. But it like I've always described it as a prison inside a prison because
it
it's like
is.
it's
It
a
is.
prison inside the prison, and
Mm.
but it is where paedophiles, children killers, vulnerable people, and people forced to do TC, which you've done, live on. Yeah. Whereas ENF is a privilege wing where you got to kiss arsehole with the officers to live on there,
And then you get mixed in with them. I never
and you get
understood
mixed in
it.
with them. Thank you for the gap.
And the bit that got me is they don't really have to do therapy or anything. People seem to think these people go to prison and get therapy. That doesn't happen. Like half these people don't have to do therapy. They don't have to do nothing to get that open, and they still get it. Where the rest of us have to jump hoops, not get negative IEPs, have to go to work. They don't. I don't know where people seem to think they go to prison and get some rehabilitation, get therapy to stop being what they are. Like that doesn't happen. Like, it doesn't happen.
Thank you for the gifts, guys.
Like I think people need to stop lying to the rest of society. They don't get no therapy, like they don't get no help to change their mindset.
I don't think there is any help though. That's probably why they don't get any help. Like, is there any help? Like, what therapy is going to make you change? So I've got a question. Is the MH card played a lot in prisons then?
Yeah,
MH card, am I being dumb?
mental health.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for the ice cream.
I mean,
Yeah.
they do use mental health a lot. Yeah, they do. They do use the fact of like I'm mentally ill
Yeah, see, because
or
I didn't that's what I'm saying. I didn't interact. I lived with, I don't even think I actually lived with any paedophiles, to be fair.
not on your spread. The other one, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't. So obviously, I didn't interact with them kind of people anyway. But you obviously, you'll be able to answer that question. I can't because I don't know. So sorry, carry on. I was cutting you off.
Not that it's more the fact of like when you see all the red books downstairs, it was for them.
Yeah,
You know,
and
they
read book
self-harmed a
downstairs,
lot.
what you call an act book,
Yeah,
which you go
they
on.
self-harmed a lot. They done a lot of, manipulation and crying and I mean, I
Do
can't
you,
even lie. Some of the officers played some great jokes on them. It was so funny at one point.
come on
Like
then,
they
enlighten.
they
Give us
come
some
out in the
example.
morning and their garden boots be soaking wet. Like they just do stupid shit. I was involved with some of the ideas, so it was quite fun. But yeah, like their boots would get soaked. I mean, some of the officers really didn't care about them.
Well, the, this is my conversation that I had in. What's the worst violence you ever witnessed in prison? Do you know what the worst violence I think I witnessed is? Someone to themselves,
Yeah.
the self harm to themselves. I actually witnessed firsthand one fight in my whole sentence, and I was in jail for 3 years, 8 months, and I witnessed one punch up. That just shows you how little fights that really go on. But I would say the worst violence was smashing up the car. There was one woman, and she used to get the flask. Remember the metal flask that you put the hot water in Bronzefield? And literally, her eye would be out here. She'd smash it against her face. She'd have the biggest cut over her face. It'd go down, and then literally within days again, she'd smash it
I
again,
mean, there was one
smash
woman,
it.
yeah, I forget her name, but everyone knew her. Constantly cutting big lumps out of her arms.
Oh God, I can't think who it is, but
And she
you're
walked
making me
around
feel
looking like
queasy.
Snoopy with the sad face.
You're making me feel queasy because I know I've seen some really bad, really, really,
It's the
really.
one that always walked around with an officer in an act book, and she always had a sad, miserable face like the dog Snoopy.
You're making me laugh, and it's not funny. I don't because mental health really touches with my heart. They plays on my
No,
little
no, she was a
strings.
paedophile. I really don't care.
Oh, okay, all right, all right. Well, you could have told me that.
Well, she lived on J1. I thought it was kind of obvious, but okay.
Well, I don't
Because
know. I don't know which prison you was talking about. I don't know
she
who you're talking
always
about.
had like chunks out of her arm, and I remember one day she started doing it again and scratching her arm. And I think they meant to put us behind our door. And I said, "Listen, if you fuck up my Friday one more time, like, I'm gonna go mad." I said, "If you're gonna do it,
Yeah,
just do
I
it."
don't feel sorry for any paedophile or any child killer that's got that self harms. That I don't feel sorry for them. Like they should inflict pain on themselves. Yeah, do you know what? Good, good. At least they're inflicting pain on themselves.
I used to always say, like, if
Charlene
it,
Sen, chubby girl, black hair. Charlene?
ye- no, that's another one. But yeah, I remember that one as well.
We're reading them all off here now.
She was
Um,
fat and she had like red hair dye basically falling out of her hair at one point, and she used to always look like Snoopy. But I remember Charlene, she was another one that got on my nerves. She used
so
to always walk around sad and try and get attention from the officers, and it was just like,
yeah, well, the officers they listen. Some of them were just corrupt anyway, because some of them you got the old school ones like what was that? Thank you. Oh, sending positivity. Thank you. Sorry, I'm getting gifts. I'm getting distracted. Oh, Laura King. Um,
yeah,
profile prisoners like attention. Sorry, do the high profile prisoners like the attention they get?
I think some of them do. Yeah, I think some of them do.
Yeah, I don't really know because I don't, again, I didn't really, thank you for the whistle, guys. Thank you for the gifts. Um, I'm an off, I'm an officer. Behaving yourselves, I hope, ladies. Are you an officer that we know? We got an officer in the chat, apparently. Obviously, we're behaving ourselves.
Obviously, I'm still outside.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no. Yeah, yeah. So
I
you
bet it's
got
someone that we know as well. They're proper taking the piss right now, watching
yeah,
us
probably,
laughing.
yeah. Are you in a male or female prison? Anyway, you're distracting me now. Anyway, back to the point, because
No, because now we're intrigued to know if we know you or not.
thank you. Thank you, Miss
To ask if
Moneybag.
we're behaving ourselves, like clearly.
Well, you never know, but still, God, everyone, if I'm ignoring anyone sending gifts, I am very, very grateful. Thank you. I'm just trying to get to this because I want this to go up on my YouTube channel, but I feel like everyone's
Um,
distracted me now. But keep firing with the questions, guys, because
I don't
obviously,
know. Right now, I was in prison for a firearm and a couple more, but yeah, nothing.
and if anyone's not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, click the link in the
Yeah, it's
bio.
similar to while I was in jail. But I just think people have this view that, they get such a hard time, and it's not like that at all.
No, it's very bizarre, isn't it? I mean, I can understand why. So, for example, me myself, had I gone in there 15 years ago, I would have been a very different prisoner. I was, I was like, yeah, I was naughty.
The
I haven't,
glasses suit you.
and where was I going with it? But when I went in this time around, like I made a choice when I went into prison that I was going to change. Like I knew that I wanted to change and better my life. So I wanted to so I chose to do it the right way, and I wanted to get out. I wanted to do my rottles and stuff like that. So I made that decision to not interact with these, like, these people, do it the right way, do it for me, not do it for anybody else. So I kind of understand why people don't want to do that, and deal with them and stuff like that. But I just do think they just get it well easy. They get privileges without even having to earn for it. That's you know. Yeah, I was getting some questions, but I just gone brain dead. Sorry, guys, I was just reading it. I've lost my trail of thoughts now, so.
I just think a lot of people got to realize, like, anything you do to these people, you get told off or you get punished. So, is there any point in really making your sentence
Thank you, Miss Moneybags, and you. Take care.
harder for the sake of these wasted people that get small sentences, get out in no time? Is there any
Yeah, I
point?
find that very bizarre how did what I'd done, and I someone that kills their child gets a lesser sentence than me. Oh, good luck with that, Casper.
I think, it's a lot more harder when you think that the people that do TC with these people have to hear the index crime. Ungrateful. But I mean, they lie about it. They make out, it wasn't what it was. And I just think that it's a joke, to be fair, the way these people can make out like they have mental health issues or it wasn't them or some sort of sad story. Or people even say, like, people got a cheek to even say, like, you don't know their history. What's their history got to do with the fact of abusing someone?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, if they was abused as a child, why the hell would you go and do that to someone else? So you can't blame it on your history. I'm sorry. Because if I was abused as a child, why the hell is that suddenly going to make me go and then abuse a child? Like, I don't, yeah, that kind of stuff don't wash with me when it comes to people like that. It just doesn't. I don't agree with it at all.
I just think, since lockdown, all we've heard is a lot more people killing their kids, and it's coming a normality, you
That's the
know,
scary thing.
and people are like, oh, we're going to get their comeuppance in jail. No, they don't. Like, nothing happens to them in jail. And what do you think that's happening? They got their freedom taken away. Okay, so kids are safe, but they're going to get out one day. Some of these people are still allowed to see their kids. That's what people don't understand, is some of these that kill their kids are still allowed to see their children.
I know, that's all bizarre. And how,
No,
like,
they're not protected inside. Well,
uh,
yeah, they are
they
protected
are to an
inside
extent because they get
to an
put
extent.
on special wings and stuff. So the people that are, it's either a protected wing or it's a privileged wing where the only girls that live on the privileged wing, so the ones that will not get into trouble, that have kissed ass for 3 months to live on there, so they can go home and see their family and go out to work. So like they 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 get special treatment in that aspect. You know, we have to grind our asses off and earn that privilege, whereas someone that's got done something wrong to a child, they'll come straight into prison and walk straight onto that wing just so they're not put in with the rest of the population, which I don't think is right. Send them up to main block, let them get dealt with, let them do
The
whatever.
thing is, some of them do start off the main block till they get found out, and then they move down.
Say that again. So I was reading a comment.
What you got to understand is people in society have this opinion that you're very well protected inside, or they're inside getting their life changed and they're gonna change their lives and come out. No, what you got to understand is they're put in a wing where people are protected, or people that have mental health and can't be on constant watch, so they're on J wing where it's less harm to cause yourself, or people that are doing courses on J wing. It's changed now in sense. J wing's now a normal um wing, and there is still not paedophiles downstairs, or they're put on ENF where people that are is classed as open are trying to get back into their own life, so they're put in with them. But what people don't understand in the real world is these people are just I can't even get it. You know, when you just think like you've
Yeah,
lived
you
in
just
the
can't get. Yeah, like in my head, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I talk about this, it just gives me a headache because I feel like sometimes I'm going around in circles and contradicting what I'm saying because you say something and then you're like, when you start thinking, it's like actually no, this, that, and the other, and it's just like it literally just gives you a headache and you just get so lost for words because it's just so horrific. And I got
I
a
don't think
comment
what people
here.
understand is they walk around prison like it's okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying
Like
with
that's
an
what people
attitude.
don't get. Like they don't walk around like, oh my God, I'm scared, I'm a paedophile, child killer, or a child fiddler. They walk around like they're shopping in Westfields.
I got a comment on here. Yeah, Emma, it's so easy to do that. We got another. Apparently, a nurse is being under investigation for 3 dead babies in Birmingham. I'm not sure. I've not heard of that. And the thing is you've got who? There was another. Wasn't there another nurse in Send for killing a kid? I can't think who it was. What
Oh
was her
yeah, I
name?
think I
Was it Colette?
remember.
Was it Colette? You know Colette who used to hang around with Emma.
Yeah. Do you know I actually didn't know where she was in until I got out?
Yeah, so it's not the first nurse and it won't be the last, which is horrific to say. But people,
I actually didn't know why Colette was in until I got out.
I'm sure someone said to me,
But she's a
I'm,
lifer.
yeah. I'm sure it's what she was in there for. Someone said to me, but I,
And you know what people don't understand? You know there's people in there that fiddled with old people in old people's homes that can't defend themselves.
yeah, that's madness. I don't. So we talking sexually here?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of gather that's what you're saying, but I just can't. Oh, do you know what? Old, young, whatever. It just, oh God, I think I'm just so over it now. I think it just the thought of these people, and it
You know
takes
what?
you back to.
I feel like I was sent to prison mentally ill and I got more traumatized.
I've come out with more mental health than when I went in. Let me tell you that now.
I actually feel like that. Like, do you know how long it took me to get used to closing my own door?
I don't know. I'm quite content with all of that. Mm, I just
You
feel
know,
like I'm traumatized from being yes sir, no sir for nearly 4 years and whatnot.
I
I think
mean,
that
it's
was
still,
that was the toughest bit for me It's just literally just being yes sir,
I think
no
the
sir.
hardest bit for me was being told you can't wear flip-flops.
If you get caught wearing sliders 3 times, you're getting kicked off.
Like, it was
Listen,
just
I've
like,
done what I want anyway. I always wore sliders.
or do you know what was the worst for me? Trying to get it put in my head that your crime is no different to theirs. Like,
Yeah.
it actually traumatized me to the point that I was so mentally ill at one point because I was just like, am I backwards? Like,
Yeah,
constantly
that's
arguing in
the
my
thing, and
head.
that's like a comment. That's what like I touched base on earlier, like a comment, that breaking the law is breaking the law, and I ain't no different. I am, because you know what? I made bad choices.
Like I always told the officers, yeah, and I always got in trouble for saying this. I went to jail for going after one. So I've already been punished by being told by the law that's not allowed. You don't need to tell me I'm the same as them because I'm not.
How did that? How did you deal with that? Like, because obviously, I mean, you're quite openly saying that, something happened to you. How did that mentally, like, how did that? Because that's another thing that people seem to forget. It's like, oh, you're the same. You should all be treated the same. But what about women that have been sexually abused as a child? It ruins their mind, turns them to drugs, which then leads them to crime, which then leads them to prison, and then leads them to living on the same landing. And I
I
leave
think
that
the
thought with
bit,
everyone for a minute.
it's yeah.
Does that make them the same as a
Do you know the bit
pedophile?
I didn't get is the fact of even though I was a teenager, then an adult that it happened to, I still couldn't understand as someone that survived that what it'd be like for that little child. And I'm going to be that person that's going to protect that little child. So in my head, I have little brothers and sisters. When I went to jail, my little sister was only 6. So if anyone ever touched my little sister, my little brother, and you're telling me it's okay, I couldn't. In my head, I was brought up by my mum to know that people like that are ill. Like they're disgusting. They're born that way. They're disgusting people. So how can you then try and convince me that I'm wrong for thinking the way I'm thinking? So would you allow your child to be looked after by one of them? That's why I always ask people, would you let them look after your child? And they always says
Mate,
protect.
I know. It's just, I'm just going to wrap up with a couple of questions because I feel like this is, I think to be honest, it's just sort of going round and round in circles. I wanted to touch base on what how it was like. But when I say being made to interact with them, I mean you was basically made to live on that house block because you was made to believe that you had to do this course to get home and see your family quicker. Because that's not a choice you're given, if that makes sense. So, knowing what you know now, do you feel that affected your sentence at all? Like knowing, like you could have been on, like you had a taste of the privilege wing. Like, do you look back now and feel like any of that triggered anything for you?
I think it made me a lot more angrier. But then again, I met people that I'm grateful to this day of meeting them because they helped me along my sentence. I don't think I'd be as strong as I am without them people being by my side and thinking the same as me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it made me a lot more angrier that psychologists are trying to convince me that my crime is no different to theirs. And I think that made it to the point of you're not making me better, you're making me worse. You're
Yeah,
mentally abusing me, but you're meant to be making me better mentally.
giving you therapy and
So I feel like it taught me to lie and go along with these people, yes sir, no sir, for me to get open 3 months before I left. I don't think it was worth it.
No, I understand that. So I'm just gonna. So someone's just asked, what did you go to prison for? If you could just clarify again, because obviously I didn't hear you the first time round. Oh, they wasn't in the chat. Sorry, that sounded really rude. I didn't mean it like that.
Although I feel like I've been on trial. Like all day, I've been like, I've been to
I'm
prison
tired. I'm tired. It's
for a
been a
firearm.
long week.
So basically, I feel like just saying just watch your YouTube because he's in there. But I went to prison for a firearm and going to quit. That's the end of all the story.
What was that? Sorry.
I said I went to possession of a firearm. It was a taser, people. It was a
I
police
heard that
torch
bit.
taser. And going to quit for burglary.
Okay.
Even though I wasn't going to leave no one's house, by the way, people.
Yeah, I think that, yeah, it's what you actually got done for is not what the story was. So, guys, if you check down my videos on YouTube, you will see Roxy's story. It is over an hour long, but feel free to go over and watch it and hear a little bit more about Roxy's story. So, what I'm going to stick the link in the comments below on my YouTube. I will stick up Roxy's TikTok page, the link to her page, because do you want to tell a little bit about what you're working towards doing at the minute? Just
um,
where you want to end up, and do.
so basically, I really do want to do a charity for survivors of DV, and I think you got to call it essay on here, right? Because as they start banning your channel.
What can you just explain what that actually stands for? Because some people won't
So
know.
essay is sexual assault, so people that have been raped or abused sexually, whatever your story is. I kind of want to do a charity about that, and what I really want to campaign about is getting people that are convicted of rape, regardless if your rapist is a man, female, or trans. I'm campaigning to get their sentences taken to a life sentence because I think if you're going to destroy life, you deserve to be sentenced to life. And I kind of just want to help others, really, whoever hasn't been through the court system or wants to go through the court system or wants to know what it's like. I mean, I've been there, done it, fighted for it, and got justice.
So again, yeah, guys, check out Roxy's full story on my YouTube page. But honestly, like, it's very, very empowering. She's very strong. She did get justice. So, check out her TikTok page. If you've got any questions, feel free to shout out to her because justice was done. She was tricked into somebody saying they was a sex that they actually wasn't. So yeah, I'm not going to say too much more. If you want to hear it, then go check it out.
Yeah, and I think once I get confirmation, if I mean, I'm working towards maybe doing a documentary based on it. So if I do, I'll let you guys know, and then maybe you lot can watch it. If I decide to do it, I'm a bit in the middle of it right now. But
Yeah, no, only you can make that decision. Only you can do that.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot to think about. But I
Well,
think
listen, sorry, go on.
everyone has a right to get justice for what they've been through. And I think people have to understand just because you smile and laugh don't mean you don't suffer. But I think people have a view on what people should look like when they've been through shit. But hey, you all smile, right?
Yeah, what they say, what don't kill you makes you stronger. Well, listen, Roxy, thank you so much for coming on again. I
Okay.
really appreciate it. Like I said, check out Roxy's TikTok, give her a follow, help get her some support so she can get the subscribers to go live so she can do some live chats on her experience and stuff. So thank you.
It's all right.